After decades of helping older adults, I see something very common. Many people feel slow, forgetful, or scattered, and they blame themselves. But it's not your fault. It's not your memory that's failing. Often, your brain is quietly missing the nutrients it needs, and your eyes might be showing the same signals, just in a way you didn't notice. Have you noticed yourself squinting at menus or struggling with small print? Maybe your vision blurs a little in the afternoon when your energy dips. You're not alone. These changes aren't random. Millions of people over 60 experience vision loss from macular degeneration, and many also notice memory lapses, brain fog, or mental fatigue. Pause gently. Here's an important fact: your eyes and your brain are connected. The retina, the part of your eye that senses light, actually comes from brain tissue during development. So when your vision starts to fade, it can be an early sign that your brain isn't getting the nutrients it needs. Believe it or not, there are a few humble foods that many people overlook, but they provide the steady, clean energy your brain and eyes need. They're simple, not trendy, not expensive, and chances are, you already have them in your kitchen. One of the most powerful of these is black beans. They may not look flashy, but for older adults dealing with brain fog or blurry vision, they are a quietly potent ally. Here's why. Black beans are full of complex carbohydrates, which release energy slowly. This steady supply helps your neurons work consistently, instead of causing those spikes and crashes that leave your brain tired. As we age, our brains process glucose less efficiently. Harvard Medical School notes that by our senior years, glucose metabolism can drop by up to 20%, especially in memory and attention areas. Without the right fuel, your brain can start feeling dimmed. Black beans also contain fiber and resistant starch, which help stabilize blood sugar for hours. This keeps both your brain and your eyes energized and alert. Research in the Journal of Nutrition shows that older adults who eat legumes like black beans regularly have better blood sugar control and sharper thinking. But there's more than just energy. Black beans are rich in magnesium, a mineral that supports brain function, helping neurons communicate and adapt. A study in the Journal of Alzheimer's Disease found that seniors with higher magnesium intake had a 37% lower risk of cognitive decline. Your eyes benefit too. The retina is one of the most energy-hungry tissues in the body. Black beans contain anthocyanins, the deep-colored compounds that protect retinal cells from stress and inflammation. A 2021 study in the Journal of Ophthalmology showed that anthocyanin-rich diets improved vision and retinal health in adults over 60. And here's the real-life proof: Sandra, a 72-year-old retired teacher, added black beans to her meals 3 times a week. Within 2 months, she noticed her afternoon brain fog lifting, and she no longer needed to enlarge her phone's font. Just a simple, natural food helping her body do what it was designed to do. Next, let's talk about another quietly powerful brain booster, one that works not just through steady energy, but by supporting the chemical messengers your brain relies on. You may have overlooked it on your salad plate, but it's holding a key to sharper thinking every day. I'm talking about chickpeas. As we age, something subtle begins to decline: our neurotransmitters. These are the brain's chemical messengers that keep our neurons communicating. One of the most important is dopamine, which helps with focus, motivation, learning, and even feeling pleasure. When dopamine levels drop, it's not just feeling a little down, it can mean slower thinking, mental fatigue, indecision, and forgetfulness. Names, conversations, or tasks that once felt easy can suddenly feel frustrating. And this is where chickpeas come in. Chickpeas, also known as garbanzo beans, help your brain make dopamine, not because they contain dopamine directly, but because they're rich in L-tyrosine, an amino acid your brain uses to produce it. Research shows that sufficient tyrosine improves focus, memory, and thinking, even under stress. But there's more. Chickpeas are also high in vitamin B6, which is essential for turning tyrosine into dopamine. Without enough B6, this process slows down. Studies show that seniors with higher B6 intake have better memory, verbal fluency, and overall cognitive function. And here's a subtle but important point: unlike some animal proteins that spike dopamine quickly and then crash, chickpeas provide a gentle, steady boost. This helps your brain stay energized and calm throughout the day, avoiding those mid-afternoon slumps. They also support serotonin, another neurotransmitter that helps with mood and emotional balance, thanks to their tryptophan and folate content. Your eyes benefit too. Retinal cells, like brain cells, rely on proper chemical signals to process light and send visual information. B6 and folate are essential here, and deficiencies can contribute to eye fatigue over time. Studies show that folate from foods like chickpeas supports retinal health and contrast sensitivity in older adults. All this from a humble, natural food, no pills required. Next, let's explore a third brain and eye ally, one that works not through blood sugar or dopamine, but by quietly reducing inflammation. For aging brains and eyes, controlling inflammation can make a huge difference. I'm talking about edamame. As we get older, inflammation can sneak in silently. It chips away at cognition, affects vision, and speeds up age-related changes, often without any obvious warning. You might notice slower thinking, slight blurriness in your peripheral vision, or tired eyes after reading. Inside, your cells are working hard to stay healthy in a challenging environment. Edamame, those young green soybeans, may seem simple, but they're rich in plant-based compounds that protect neurons and retinal cells. First, there are isoflavones, compounds like genistein and daidzein. Studies show they help calm inflammation in the brain and eyes. Older adults eating isoflavone-rich soy had lower levels of inflammatory markers linked to memory decline and macular degeneration. Edamame also provides vitamin K1, which supports healthy blood flow to both the retina and the brain. Good circulation is essential to keep your neurons and eye cells nourished. Research shows seniors with higher vitamin K intake experience slower cognitive decline. Then there's lutein, a pigment that builds up in the eyes and visual areas of the brain. Think of it as your natural internal sunglasses. It protects light-sensing cells and helps your brain interpret what you see more clearly. Clinical studies show that even a small daily amount can improve visual clarity and comfort for older adults. Edamame also contains omega-3 ALA, a plant-based fat that helps maintain healthy brain membranes and memory function. While it's gentler than fish-based omega-3s, regular intake supports brain health and may slow age-related memory changes. And the best part? Edamame is easy to digest and versatile. Steam it with a pinch of salt, toss it into a salad, blend into hummus, or enjoy warm with olive oil and lemon. Simple, real food that nourishes your brain and eyes. For example, David, 68, added edamame to his meals 4 times a week. Within 6 weeks, his eyes felt less dry, and his afternoon mental slumps were noticeably better. Just by feeding his brain and calming inflammation, he felt a real difference. The simple truth is this: black beans, chickpeas, and edamame are not just foods. They are steady, reliable supporters of your brain and your vision. Each one provides something your body deeply needs: stable energy, protective nutrients, and compounds that help your cells function more smoothly. They do not promise overnight miracles, and that's actually a good thing. Real, lasting health rarely comes from dramatic changes. Instead, it grows from gentle, consistent nourishment, support your body can recognize, absorb, and benefit from over time. At this point, you may be thinking, this all sounds helpful, but how do I realistically make this part of my life? That is a very honest and very common concern. Many people imagine that improving brain and eye health requires complicated diets, strict rules, or expensive supplements. But the reality is far kinder than that. Supporting your brain and protecting your vision does not require perfection. It does not require turning your kitchen into a laboratory. And it certainly does not require changing everything at once. The most important principle is beautifully simple: consistency matters more than intensity. You don't need to eat black beans every day. You don't need to rely entirely on chickpeas. You don't need to add edamame to every single meal. What truly helps is steady exposure, regularly giving your brain and eyes access to the nutrients they may have been missing. A rhythm many people find easy, gentle, and sustainable is choosing just 3 days each week. On those days, you include one of these foods in your meals. The exact schedule is flexible. It can fit your lifestyle, your energy, and your preferences. For example, you might enjoy black beans on one day, chickpeas on another, and edamame later in the week. The days themselves are not important. What matters is building a pattern your body can benefit from. And when it comes to preparation, simplicity is your greatest ally. Black beans are wonderfully versatile. They can be added to soups, mixed with rice or vegetables, or enjoyed with something as simple as olive oil and a squeeze of lemon. Chickpeas are equally forgiving. They work beautifully in salads, can be lightly mashed into spreads, or enjoyed as hummus for a satisfying, easy snack. Edamame may be one of the easiest of all. A light steaming, a pinch of salt, perhaps a drizzle of olive oil, and you have a gentle, nourishing addition to your meal. There is no need for complex recipes. No need for rigid rules. No need for stress. If you'd like to gently enhance the benefits, small additions can make a meaningful difference. Olive oil, lemon, garlic, or mild spices like turmeric and black pepper not only add flavor, but can also support nutrient absorption and help calm inflammation. These are simple, familiar ingredients, not dramatic changes. And here is something very important to remember. If this feels like too much at first, start smaller. You do not need large portions. You do not need dramatic shifts. Even half a cup every few days is already a meaningful beginning. Because health is not built through intensity. It is built through repetition. Through patience. Through small, steady choices that accumulate over time. Each time you reach for one of these foods, you are doing something quietly powerful. You are not just eating. You are sending a message to your body. A message that says, I am still supporting you. I am still nourishing you. I still care about how I think, how I feel, and how I see. And your body listens to those messages. Slowly. Gently. Steadily. That is how lasting change happens. Healing is not a sudden event. It is not a dramatic transformation. And it is rarely about doing everything perfectly. True healing is quieter than that. Softer. More patient. It is about choosing one small, supportive action. And then choosing it again. And again. Until one day, often without even realizing it, you begin to feel different. A little clearer. A little steadier. A little more like yourself. Because the human body has something extraordinary built into it. The ability to respond. The ability to adapt. The ability to recover when given the right conditions. If you've stayed with me until this moment, I want to speak to you very gently now. Not as a doctor. Not as an expert. But simply as someone who understands how frightening these changes can feel. The forgetfulness. The mental fog. The slower thinking. The difficulty focusing. The subtle strain behind your eyes. The moments where you wonder. Is this just what aging feels like? I want you to hear something clearly. Something many people are never told. You are not broken. You are not failing. And you are not quietly disappearing. What you may be experiencing is not necessarily decline. Very often, it is imbalance. A brain asking for steadier fuel. A nervous system asking for better support. A visual system asking for protection. Your brain is still alive. Your neurons are still communicating. Your eyes are still adapting. Your body is still listening. But for years, many of us were taught to ignore the signals. We were told fatigue is normal. Forgetfulness is normal. Brain fog is normal. Blurry vision is normal. And slowly, without noticing, we began accepting discomfort as destiny. But biology does not operate on belief. It operates on input. What you feed your body. How you nourish your cells. The signals you send through your daily choices. Today, we did not talk about complicated interventions. No extreme diets. No expensive procedures. No overwhelming routines. We talked about something profoundly simple. 3 humble foods. Black beans. Chickpeas. Edamame. Foods that have existed quietly for generations. Foods that do not shout for attention. Foods that simply do their work, gently, consistently, reliably. Black beans, offering steady energy and cellular protection. Chickpeas, supporting neurotransmitters, clarity, and balance. Edamame, calming inflammation and protecting delicate tissues. None of them are magic. And that is precisely why they are powerful. Because your body does not require miracles. It requires support. The right nutrients. The right stability. The right building blocks. And when those are present, something remarkable begins to unfold. Your brain functions more smoothly. Your energy stabilizes. Your thinking sharpens. Your eyes feel less strained. Not overnight. But steadily. Naturally. Sustainably. So if there is one idea I hope stays with you after this video ends, it is this. You are not losing your mind. You are not helpless. You are not simply at the mercy of time. Very often, your brain and your eyes are simply waiting for better support. And the most encouraging part of all? Support can begin at any moment. At any age. With any small step. You do not need perfection. You do not need drastic change. You do not need to overhaul your life. Just begin. Gently. Add one nourishing choice. One supportive habit. One small act of care. Because healing is not built through intensity. It is built through repetition. Through patience. Through kindness toward your own biology. A willingness to say, I am still supporting myself. I am still investing in my clarity. I am still caring for my mind and vision. And those quiet decisions, repeated over weeks, months, years, can reshape far more than most people realize. Because it is never too late to think more clearly. Never too late to feel more focused. Never too late to experience greater mental calm. And it is never too late to protect the vision that connects you to the world. To faces. To colors. To life itself. If this message resonated with you, even in the smallest way, I want to sincerely thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for spending this time with me. Thank you for caring about your health. If you found this video helpful, you're always a willingness to say, I am still supporting myself. I am still investing in my clarity. I am still caring for my mind and vision. And those quiet decisions, repeated over weeks, months, years, can reshape far more than most people realize. Because it is never too late to think more clearly. Never too late to feel more focused. Never too late to experience greater mental calm. And it is never too late to protect the vision that connects you to the world. To faces. To colors. To life itself. If this message resonated with you, even in the smallest way, I want to sincerely thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for spending this time with me. Thank you for caring about your health. If you found this video helpful, you're always welcome to like it, share it with someone you love, or leave a comment below. And if you'd like more calm, science-based guidance designed specifically for healthy aging, consider subscribing. This is Doctor, and I truly appreciate you being here.